Hello.
Hello, everyone.
It's a podcast, not another podcast.
Hey, we're doing this, and we're doing this about women's sports.
Yeah, called You Can't Play Sports. Because I can't play sports. You can play sports.
Sort of.
Oh,
We're keeping that at sort of.
Okay. Well, you can play more sports than I can play.
All right.
Is that accurate?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
We'll go with that.
Okay, so my name is Hannah.
And my name's Jenna.
And this is the You Can't Play Sports podcast.
All about women's sports.
Yeah, we're
'cause
gonna...
we love women.
I love women. Do you love women?
I do, yes, I do.
We're women lovers, not women haters over here.
Exactly.
Yeah. So today's episode, our first episode, is going to be about the PWHL.
Yay.
Professional Women's Hockey League. It's
Yes. Love it.
here. Mm-hmm. Women playing hockey.
And this is perfect timing because we just came from a PWHL game
Yep.
in Ottawa.
Yep. We went to a game and it was fantastic. It was crazy.
Absolutely electric, as
Yeah.
the hockey players would say.
Yeah, it was really like cool to be in like a women's fan environment even.
I know. Everybody, I feel like, I don't know, everybody's just like so supportive in that environment. Like all the people cheering behind us were like,
Mhm.
yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I never hear that at a men's hockey game.
They were
Everybody's-
so passionate.
I know.
It was crazy. So we're going to get into the game a
Yep.
little bit later. But we have to start with what is
Yeah,
the
let's give you
PWHL?
a broad, I don't know, spectrum of what it is.
Yeah. So I'll start off a little
Okay.
bit because I followed the NWHL.
Yep.
And yeah, it was NWHL and the PHF, Professional Hockey League, and National Women's Hockey League. They both started before the PWHL. So many acronyms. But basically, I was a fan because they had a Connecticut team, and I gotta
Yep.
I gotta go hard for my hometown, my home state.
Yep.
They had Connecticut Whales.
Oh, that's cute. I
Isn't
like
that cute?
Yeah, I like
It was
that.
really cute. And then when I heard the PWHL was forming, I was like, where's the Connecticut team? I was so sad.
I know, left out.
We were left out. But yeah, it was so strange trying to be a fan of women's hockey at that time, like professional women's hockey, because it was so divided. Like, there weren't all the professional women's, some of them boycotted the league, and like the PHF was all over the place, and the advertising wasn't that great.
It just wasn't put together well at
No.
all at the time. And I think that how this was put together so quick, the actual formation and how everything runs is just so much better than anything that's been created so far for women.
Yeah. Trying to watch the old broadcasts, it was like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
Yep.
Like, it was crazy. I remember they were streaming on Twitch one time, and I had to make
Like,
a Twitch
that's
account.
ridiculous. Yeah.
I was watching hockey on Twitch.
Oh my God.
But it was pretty fun because there were so many like fan interactions. Like, yay, let's
Yeah.
go our team.
I don't know. I think that would be like something nice to like incorporate into broadcast as like a chat area.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That could be fun. Now that you
Yeah.
just mentioned that.
Well, the streams for the PWHL are all on YouTube with
Comments.
the chat
yeah.
section.
Yeah.
So they're all chatting in there.
Maybe we could add that to men's sports. That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I
I mean,
know.
I know there's like some platforms that do it, but
Not like the main ones that
Yeah.
everybody uses.
yeah.
That
So
could be cool.
yeah, that was the beginning when I used to actually try and watch, and it was so hard to try and watch like professional women's hockey.
See, like, I hate to say this, but since it was like so hard to get to, I wouldn't find myself like
Yeah.
looking for it. And I think that goes for a lot of people too.
Yeah, I
Like-
don't blame you.
Like, why would you bother if you can just hop right on like ESPN and watch like an NHL game? You know?
Yep. Yep. And their broadcast partners would change every year. That happens a lot in women's sports. Like, broadcast partners completely change every single year. And then you have to find a new, like, that just happened with the NWSL, the National Women's Hockey League, or
Soccer.
Soccer League. Oh my God, getting my acronyms mixed up. But yeah, that they recently just got a broadcast partner with ESPN, which was cool, but like their streams are all over the place for
There's
this
no
season.
consistency.
Like, why is it on Paramount?
I know. Does anyone even use that? Like, I feel like I'm the only one that uses Paramount.
I don't have Paramount, but I don't have a lot of things, like streaming wise. I have ESPN and Spotify.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah. I mean, that's basically where everything is these days.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Yeah, so what do you think? You have kind of heard about these other leagues. Why do you think this one will succeed?
I don't know, just by attending that game, I was like, whoa, this is like bigger than I thought. Like, I've never seen so much support. I've never seen so much excitement. I don't know, it's just like, it's a big thing now. Everybody likes it, and it's new to people, but I feel like it's a good new thing. And I don't know, the marketing for it's amazing, and I feel like all around it's a better formation, because you see that more people are gravitating towards it. Because I feel like in any other league, if they had that game, there would not be 8,000 people there.
Yeah, that game was sold out.
Yeah.
8,000.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I
For
know.
women's hockey.
I know.
Like, that's one of the biggest crowds that they've ever played in.
I know. I just feel like a fresh start was needed.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the way that they, I guess, again, marketed it just made it so big. And, like, I never used to watch women's hockey before this. And now I'm like, oh, there's a women's game on. Let me watch that.
Yeah.
Just because now it's like they're just marketing it so well.
Yeah. They are doing a great job. And from a, like, broadcasting point of view as well, if you watch the YouTube streams, they're great streams.
They are good. Yeah.
They're really and I was reading this article about Raycom Sports, maybe. They're the ones doing the broadcasts on the US side, and they're doing a fantastic job with such little time to prepare.
I know.
And I remember watching the old leagues, and it was like the crappiest cameras, like really not great cameras, really not great people behind them. Like, no offense, but like they're they tried their best,
right.
But
it wasn't enough.
No, like the brightness and the contrast, like everything was off. And I just really respect, like, the graphics look great. We were watching a little bit.
Yeah, and I kept commenting. This is just because we work too much, I guess. But I'm like, oh my God, look at that graphic. Look at that replay graphic. I was like, oh my God. I was like in my absolute wonderland, like watching their broadcast. I was like, wow.
And it looked like really professional.
And I feel like something that gravitates like me towards to watch, I don't know, maybe an NHL game is just like, they have all these interesting graphics that they put up, like something that you would never think of, like how two players can be connected, or like how, I don't know, something in history happened. Like, they're making this women's league, like, literally just, I could just say more professional. Like,
yeah.
And it
shows.
Yeah, and it makes me want to watch it more.
Yeah. Because I've watched some NWSL games as well. Their broadcasts aren't as put together.
And that's like a turnoff, really.
Like, it is.
If you're not going to put time into this, why should I?
Yeah.
Like, that's how I feel.
Like, their final game, I think, or their semifinal was, like, really poorly put together from a broadcasting point of view. Yeah. And it's really sad because these girls put in so much work and so much effort, and then to, like, not have a nice showcase for it is like,
embarrassing.
Really, frustrating too.
And I think coming from a broadcasting standpoint, like we're so influenced by it. We're around it all day long. Like, we especially look for that. Like, how professional are you?
Yeah.
Because we're just student run, and we try to be as professional as possible.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's talk about some rule changes compared to the NHL. I feel like you probably watch more NHL than me.
Yeah. Every night.
Well,
it's on in the background.
And you've been to more games than I have.
I would say about over 40 at this point.
Oh, well, Yeah, I've been to 2 now. And they were Ottawa Senators.
Hey, those are good games. They do a good job.
Yeah, I had no complaints.
Yeah.
I liked their arena. It was fun.
Yeah. And they're wicked easy going there, so.
Yeah, yeah. So the rule changes are really significant for a women's league. So
Yep.
they're allowing them to hit.
Which is unusual.
Yeah.
And
so you grew up playing hockey, so talk about that.
So I kind of stopped. So technically in men's hockey, like in youth hockey, I guess, is you're not really supposed to hit until you get to, like, I don't know if this is the same, but New York State is you can't hit until you get to the Bantam level. Okay. So that's, I forget what age that is. It's around like maybe 15, 16. So if you were to hit before that, automatic penalty. After that, like, they're a little bit easier going, I guess. And then once you get to like high school hockey and like midget rap and whatever, they let it go sometimes. Like, if it's a clean hit, it's fine.
Yeah.
And women's hockey, like when I used to go to high school games at my school, we got a women's team and they were like super good. Like first 3 years, I think maybe won the section championship. They like weren't hitting at all, not really allowed to. Everything was called. Technically, I don't think it's a rule, but it would just be like players wouldn't initiate because they know they would be called, and the refs were really tough about it. So for this league, the PWHL, to be allowing such hits like this, and I've seen some great clean hits and also some great not clean hits, but I think that it's definitely a step in the right direction because when you see men's hockey, that's immediately what catches your eye right away is how aggressive they are and how badly they want to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think by seeing the game in Ottawa, that really showed me like, oh, the women are the same too. They don't care about injuring themselves. They don't care about how aggressive they can get because they know they're up to the standards of men because they know they can do it too. So I just think that adding and allowing hitting in this league is going to be such an attention grabber for people because when I used to think about women's hockey, I'd be like, oh, it's kind of boring. Like they don't get aggressive. They don't kind of throw the body a little bit. But
I think that's like everyone's impression.
But what I've seen from this league is it's all excitement. It's all aggression. No different from men's.
Yeah. And I think that was something the women's like players union, they advocated for hitting. Like they wanted to show their aggression and their passion for the game.
And that's something different because when you would think of like I don't know, just a normal woman, like in general, the stereotype is, oh, she's fragile, she doesn't want to get hurt. That is not the case here.
No.
These women are big boned and aggressive and strong.
Yeah.
So they need to throw the body around a little bit, and they're definitely doing that.
Yeah, I agree. And it's really cool to watch, like, you just throw them into the boards. And
I know, you wouldn't think that would happen, and then we're like, whoa, like.
Yeah, we were pretty close to the glass, and we would get, like,
yeah.
I was, like, flinching backwards.
I know. It was actually, like, some of the hits that we saw were like, wow, like, these women are strong girls.
I was, yeah, impressed.
I was blown away. I can't lie.
Yeah. And then, so that's one of the rule changes, the jailbreak change. We saw a jailbreak, right? Wasn't that? That game had a jailbreak, I think.
I can't remember now.
No, I don't
remember. Think so.
I know there was a penalty.
Yeah.
And someone scored off of a penalty, but I'm not sure if it was a jailbreak.
No,
it wasn't.
It wasn't. No.
Yeah, I would have been really excited if there was a jailbreak.
Yeah, we would have been commenting on that.
Yeah, true. But yeah, so there's the new jailbreak rule, which is if you get put in the penalty box, anyone who scores can get you out.
Yeah, which I think is a little weird, honestly. Like,
do you like it or you hate it?
I don't know if I like that as much.
Really?
Yeah, just because, like, I don't know. I guess if you get a shorthanded goal, like, you're rewarding yourself by that person staying in the box. Like, I don't know.
It's like
That's how I feel. Like, you did a bad thing, so you need to stay in there.
oh, so you're like the punishment fits the
Yeah.
crime.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. I really like the jailbreak. I'm like a big fan of it because I think it's just something different to the NHL, right? It's like
Yeah.
a cool rule that they
That
can
okay, that I can see.
yeah, they can
Like,
like do their own stuff.
Even if it was my own team, though, like, okay, this happens a lot with the Florida Panthers, and I watch them all the time, but they always take a penalty within, like, the last 8 minutes or 5 minutes of the game, and I get so mad. So I'm just like, you know what? You stay in there. Like, you did it. So, like, bye. Like,
yeah. I mean, that's fair.
so I don't know. I like it, don't get me wrong, but it's like, I don't know. It takes away some
not
of the
traditional.
punishment
Yeah.
part.
It's definitely like a non-traditional addition.
Yeah.
But I like that they're trying something new.
But it is good for the team that's being penalized, I guess.
yeah. True.
So,
Yeah. Okay. Also, the point system is a 3-2-1.
yep.
Okay, how do we feel about that?
I mean, I don't really have a comment on it. I mean, a point is a point, 2 points is a point, 3 points is 3 points, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, I guess it can get confusing sometimes. And especially for people that don't watch hockey a lot, they're like, oh my God, wait, why do they have like,
Yeah.
yeah, why do they get 3 points or whatever? Or why do they get 1 point? Like, I feel like the NHL's 2-point system is a lot like easier to understand, maybe.
I agree, because I still don't really understand a 3-2-1.
I'm like, it's still trying to get through my head. Like,
A 3-2-1 is just,
so wait,
I don't know, it kind of equalizes things a little bit too much.
that I agree with, but that also gives you a chance to get a point if you lose in overtime?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Overtime loss is the 1 point.
Okay, then that's not like too bad because that
But
rewards
2
you for
points is a overtime win, I
Win.
think. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like that also gives you a chance to like reward yourself because you made it past regulation.
But the thing is, when we look at the standings, they're so close to one another.
Yep.
And I mean that's kind of going to be the case because it's the beginning of a league and they really evenly distributed the draft and everything. But I think it's like weird that they're so close together. And I like the 3 because it sets like teams apart and you're
Yep.
like, this is a really good team
Right.
because look at all their points.
Right.
But they're all so good. Like Ottawa is like not last place in the standings, but they're close.
And
but
they're still
They're
good.
really good.
Yeah.
And it's all overtime losses.
I think that will get better once there's more teams, and I guess there's a little bit more variation on who's on what team because honestly, I can't recall one player that I would call like struggling or bad.
Yeah.
Like
Sure.
they're all amazing.
Yeah.
So I think once that there's a little more variation, it will make more sense.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So, okay, let's talk about the names and logos of everything.
Okay.
So, names are just the names of the cities.
Right. Which is kind of meh right now. I can't
Yeah.
lie, but it'll get better. This
Well,
is the first year, so
Yeah.
we need to stop hating because I feel like we are a little bit when
Yep.
we shouldn't be.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like there was a lot of pushback in the beginning. Less now, but in the beginning when they announced that, there was a ton of pushback against like whether or not that should be allowed.
Yep.
Like just having like team name, they're like, "Oh, we need
something to
yeah,
be,
to like rally
yeah.
with my team." But I feel like it's not necessarily true.
I
Like,
didn't
the
see it as a
cities-
problem.
Yeah.
Like when we went to that game, everybody was just saying, "Let's go Ottawa,"
Yeah,
and everybody
true.
was excited about it. So why do they need to have like a name right now that like is associated with something?
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh, hold on, our keyboard. Okay, we're still recording. Don't
Okay.
worry.
Okay, I was
I
like,
think. First time for everything. But yeah, so okay, there was registered name. I don't know if everyone, I feel like a lot of people do know this, but there were names that were like copyrighted. So
they aren't using them yet, but they
already put in the, I forget what it's called, but like the copyright for the names.
like
They already filed for it.
Okay.
So, but this came out like at the beginning of the season, and then people hated the names and the. So
Everybody needs to stop hating so much.
It's like I don't get what people want. Like, okay, these are the unofficial names so far. Boston Wicked. I think that's
I like
awesome.
We were talking about that,
Yeah.
like if they had like a logo with like a witch or something, I think that would be like super cool.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
And then so many people were hating on it online. They were like, Boston Wicked. That's not cool, or I don't know. The complaint.
I think that's good because in my like head, I see wicked as like feminine, but it's like also like very aggressive feminine.
But also like wicked, like that's such the Boston term. Like it's wicked.
Oh, like the
just got
yes. No, I get that now.
Okay, see, it's like
but
double.
Even not associated with that, I like it.
Yeah. Okay. So Boston Wicked, Minnesota Superior.
Oh, like for like the
Superior. Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, I like it too. I have nothing against that one. Okay, Montreal Echo.
Meh.
That one I feel like could use some work.
Yeah, because like what would you like make? I always think about this. What would you make as like your mascot? Like
yeah.
Like I could see like Boston Wicked, like a witch, like Minnesota Superior, maybe like a fish or something. Like,
yeah. But Echo is kind of I feel like there was something reason behind Echo, right? Cuz it's Montreal associated.
Right. But
I'm not
sure.
Canadian.
Yeah.
You're the closest Canadian.
Not exactly, but maybe someday.
Okay, New York Sound. Like
I mean,
the sound.
Yeah. I feel like
I'm not a believer in that
that's
one.
That's not like original. Like I feel like
yeah.
Oh, what was the team?
It's like Islanders. There's already the New York Islanders. Why do we need the New York Sound?
Right. I don't know.
But online fans have been calling them the New York Pizza Rats.
Literally insert a picture of the pizza rat.
The New York Pizza Rats logo concept design right here.
Love it. Put that on a jersey, please.
But like that would be funny.
I feel like that would be funny.
There's no way that they're gonna do the New York Pizza Rats. That team will never be taken seriously.
I'm thinking of the Bridgeport Sound Tigers.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm thinking of. So like I don't know if it's not really like original. I feel like they could change that one up.
Yeah.
I don't like that one.
Yeah. Okay. Ottawa Alert.
No.
Yeah, that one's kind of bad too. They didn't do a great job with the Canadians over there.
I don't like that.
Okay, Toronto Torch. It's kind of confusing though, because when I think Torch, because I'm American, I think like Lady Liberty.
Yeah.
So when I hear like, Toronto Torch, I'm like,
that's
Toronto.
Canadian, not American.
Yeah.
But it's okay, I guess.
Yeah. It's all right. Okay. What do you think, like do you have a name or logo in mind for any of these teams?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I would just like to see something like, I mean, some of these are like unique, like Montreal Echo, not that I like it, but like something that hasn't been used before, but like I guess what I like is having a tie to something.
Yeah.
And also like, I don't know, not to hate, but I don't love like if you can't match your mascot to your team, if that makes sense. Like
Sparky in Ottawa.
Yeah. Or
that
like
does not make sense.
Or like the Edmonton Oilers like mascot doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like something I guess that I could base it off of too is like the Vancouver Canucks, like how they have Finn as their mascot. Like kind of goes, but not really. Like
the Bruins and their bear.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I would say the Canucks is a very like loose representation, like which they could easily do here. Like a loose representation is fine. Like I don't know, like where Vancouver is, like a lot of whales or
Mhm.
whatever. But like, I don't know, like something that has like either a connection to the city and it doesn't have to be like a connection to the name
Yeah.
or a connection direct to the name.
Yeah. I don't really care for alliteration
Yeah, I
for
don't
the
either.
team names. Like,
I
it's
don't
not
either.
necessary.
No. And that just makes it harder anyways, so.
Yeah. Yeah,
'Cause how could you choose?
I agree. I feel like Minnesota could have something. I feel like I've looked online and there's already better like Minnesota
Yeah.
like ideas. I forget which ones that I've seen, but there's been like some really cool concepts, I think.
I think that these can get better.
Yeah. Besides Boston, leave Boston alone.
No, I like the Boston
Leave
one.
Boston alone, everyone.
know.
Stop.
Don't hate.
Stop hating on Boston. Okay. Obviously not right now, but at some point they're gonna expand.
Mhm.
What cities?
Okay. One comment is I definitely think that they need to move out west more because just
Yeah.
having Minnesota like out there is like kind of a pain. Like, for example, like how the AHL is right now.
Yeah.
There's like
so many East Coast teams.
there's so many East Coast teams, and then there's a few West Coast teams, but then like you just have like Abbotsford like way up there and like alone. And I guess I don't know, I've heard from players that it's annoying like just to fly there all the time, and that is now the Vancouver Canucks affiliation, and it's just like it's annoying for players. Like if they get called up, they got to get on a plane. Like how in Utica we just had to drive the players to like New Jersey, so that's
Yeah.
not much. I don't know, I just think that maybe they need to add some West teams, Midwest teams. Like I don't know, maybe something like Chicago would be nice. Like I'm trying to think of places that are like not so
That's-
NHL-y.
That's what I think. I think what they need to do is expand to like cities that don't have an NHL team
Like maybe
already.
like I know that they have like a USHL team, but maybe like Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Yeah.
They have a lot of hockey fans.
Idaho
Yep.
has a lot of hockey fans.
Yeah. Like Utah.
Yeah.
A lot of hockey fans.
Utah. Well, NHL is thinking of expanding to Utah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if PWHL gets there first, I mean, that's going to be...
There's a lot of hockey fans in like Provo, Utah, which
Yeah.
would be nice. It's absolutely beautiful in Utah. It would
Oh,
be
yeah.
amazing for players to be there.
Yeah, I think like a place that doesn't already have an NHL team. And what's the Canadian place that everyone says the Halifax maybe?
Oh, Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia.
Yeah. Or like this was there was an AHL team. Do you know where like Prince Edward Island is?
No.
It was in what were they called? It was in St. John's, Prince Edward Island,
Mhm.
and they had like crazy fans, but it was just such a pain because it was kind of far away from all the East Coast teams, and there wasn't enough, I guess, teams around it, like, and Canadian teams in the AHL to just keep going there, so they
Yeah.
lost their franchise. But I feel like a place like that, they have wild hockey fans there. It would
Yeah.
be so nice.
Oh, Georgia? Is
Mhm.
the Atlanta Thrashers were there?
Yep. Yep.
Not Connecticut. Don't.
Maybe.
Maybe Connecticut, but it's a little too late.
Or like, would it be? I don't know. Like maybe like Saskatchewan, like somewhere in
Yeah.
there. Like they don't have anything.
There's
really.
so many potential for Canadian teams
I know.
because there's so much of Canada that wants hockey and
I
doesn't
know
have
that
it.
doesn't have it. But like I feel like, not to keep bringing up the NHL, but they don't know what to do when they expand because every option that they give is American, like USA. They never give like any real like Canadian options.
Yeah,
I mean, other than you mentioned Halifax, but that's Nova Scotia. But
yeah,
I don't know. They just need to do a better job. I think the PWHL can do better.
yeah. I think so too.
They
They're not-
probably will. So.
Yeah, I mean, they're already doing a great job. So, let's move on, okay, to our game recap.
Yes.
Ottawa versus New York.
What a game.
What a game. What an atmosphere. We already kind of talked about it, but crazy atmosphere.
Let me just preface by saying
Okay.
I kept thinking in my head, like, oh my God, they're never going to come back from, like, 3-0. They're never going to come back because the entire, like, I would say the entirety of the first two periods, they looked kind of asleep. I can't lie.
Yeah. They were looking a little sleepy there.
Yeah.
And Ottawa was looking strong.
They had a lot of momentum, I
yeah.
have to say.
They got like 3 goals. Not really, they were all consecutive, but they were well spaced out.
Mm-hmm.
And all the players, they had great opportunities at the net.
Yep.
New York had a couple good opportunities that they blanked on.
Yeah, wasn't able to capitalize. But I feel like they could have put more aggression into the first two periods.
Yeah. And then that third period.
I don't know what it was, but I might have a feeling that the penalty that Ella Shelton took, like, totally switched the momentum because that was, I have to say, it was not a clean hit, but it was a good hit. Like, she just, like, boom. So, I don't know if that gave the players, like, something to wake up on or what.
Yeah. I think, that was in the third period, too. And after that, it was like...
Boom, 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 goals.
Yeah, one after another. Alex Carpenter just...
With 2 goals.
2 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
was...
She actually made a comment after the game, and she was like, yeah, we never stopped believing. Like, even at 3-0, we were still, like, we were fine. We had no worry, and we always have faith that we'll come back. So,
they didn't ever need to pull their goalie.
No. I know.
Gosh, I wish that was the case.
I was, like, thinking in my head, like, this always happens with the Florida Panthers. Like, they're always down, like, I don't know, 4-0, 3-0. I'm like, oh, they're never going to come back. I'm just going to turn it off. And then 5 minutes later, I look and they tie it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I guess it's a thing where you have to have, like, that mentality, just like Alex Carpenter said. Like, you never believe that you're going to lose. You always think it's a 0-0 game. Like,
but poor Ottawa.
I know, that was, like, a little harsh, I have to say.
Like, we were in Ottawa watching the game, and...
Obviously, that's not the outcome that they wanted.
Everyone was like, finally, we get a win in Ottawa. Finally.
But guess what? No.
No, that was not the case. And the fans, they were so supportive afterwards.
I feel like we need to talk about the whole atmosphere.
Okay. How about you compare it to game, because you've been to games there.
Yes.
Okay, so compare.
So they play in the same arena, if you didn't know, as the Ottawa 67s. So that's an OHL team. I went on a Sunday, just like a normal afternoon game. And obviously prefacing, afternoon game, this is not a 7 p.m. start, and this is on a Sunday. So you would not expect that many people to be there, A, and B, be that loud and just exciting. So I think, it was quite a while ago that I did go to the OHL game, but I would say, like, fans are great. I would say the excitement is, like, meh, and they did lose the game that I went to, but it was, like, kind of a back and forth game, so there was, like, quite a bit of excitement, and obviously OHL is a big thing now. But it's, like, as soon as I got there, and you can remember this, like, I was like, wow. Like, this is insane.
You were like, look how many signs there are.
I have never seen so many signs at any game in my entire life than I saw there.
Yeah.
Like, that was insane. At least,
we brought our own signs, too.
I know, yeah, we did. We got a little wave from Savannah Harmon after, which
shout
was cute.
out.
But it's like, as soon as I got there, like, my mouth, like, dropped to the floor. I was like, oh my God, like, I've been to a sold-out OHL game at this arena, and I have never heard fans so supportive and so loud.
And so many women.
Exactly. Like, I guess at an OHL game, you would say, like, it's mostly men there.
Yeah.
And it was just, like, such a shift for me.
Yeah.
And it just, like, made me so excited. It, like, gave me goosebumps.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's so... I think a lot of professional leagues forget about the women demographic. They're like, oh, we'll just advertise for men. I think NFL is now realizing they have a women demographic with Taylor Swift.
Yep.
And they're using her to advertise to the female demographic.
And now they're starting that in the NHL with Tate McRae.
Yeah. Because
so at least they're noticing it.
They're finally seeing, like, women can be fan of sports?
Yep.
Question mark?
Yep.
It's like, yeah, we can.
We exist.
There's women that are fan of sports, yeah. And I think the PWHL is just such a great representative of that.
I feel like women are just, no offense to you men if you're listening, but I feel like women are just, like, so much more supportive. And I feel like the support system around this, I don't know, I could just say, like, this rink in general, because I haven't been to another one, but is so high. And I feel like that's what I really liked about it. And I feel like that sets it different from any other league, because if I were to go to an OHL game, NHL game, AHL, all I would hear is, like, you suck, or, like, whatever, and it's all negative comments.
Yeah.
I don't hear any good comments really ever. So I feel like this was just such a shift, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, the only NHL game that I've been to is Ottawa games, and they're pretty supportive, I would say, like, to the Ottawa Senators.
And the opposing team, honestly,
yeah, too. Because no one really... we went to a Bruins Ottawa game, and there were more Bruins fans there.
Right. And it's like, there's been a couple environments that I've been in, like, I've been to, like, a Panthers Lightning game, and those get ugly. Or even a Panthers, like, Canadians game gets ugly because all the Canadians are in Florida. And, like, the stigma around those games are just, like, it's so negative.
Yeah.
Because there's so much hatred towards the other team. And I feel like it's a good thing and a bad thing. And I feel like the bad is just because, like, I don't know, if I were a player, I would, like, get so nervous, and I would be like, I need to be on my best A game. And I don't know, I guess it's just the negativity, like, itself is bad, but I feel like it could also be good in the fact that, like, creates an exciting game and, like, a rivalry. So maybe I would like to, like, see that start in the PWHL, like.
Well, they just announced their series that they're doing, one in Pittsburgh and one in Detroit, which is going to be, I feel like, kind of cool.
Yeah.
But there's not really rivals yet.
And I feel like that will happen once maybe more teams come in.
Yeah, or once they're named and everything.
Yeah.
And once there's, like, an established hierarchy.
Right.
Because right now I feel like everyone's kind of on the same level. Minnesota is pulling away a little bit.
Yeah.
But in general, everyone's kind of on the same level. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Well,
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun to watch. We're going to be watching more games. I might go.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm definitely going.
Yeah.
You might go to another game.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I have time. When I'm not working.
Yeah, when we're not working.
Yeah.
When we have time. But yeah, okay. Thank you guys.
Yes, thank you for listening.
Thanks for tuning in.
And we'll see you next week.
Yep, next week.
Different topic.
Different topic. We'll cover something else.
Okay.
All right.
See you guys.